you have a connection, let them know. Let them know. Alrighty. The first thing that we are going to do for this green curry, is have a look at these wonderful kaffir limes. These wonderful kaffir limes and lemongrass. First, we're going to peel the outer layers of the lemongrass and cut that into tiny slices before grinding it and pounding it in a mortar and pestle. I always cut my ingredients for green curry into fine pieces before grinding it, before pounding it, because I feel that just makes it a lot easier in the mortar and pestle afterwards. If I were to put this entire stem of lemongrass in, it would be much harder to break down because the fibers run along the length of the lemongrass, and I am now cutting through the fibers, making it much easier to break apart. Usually, when I get ingredients for Thai green curry, I go to some Asian grocery stores in Vienna, which is about an hour away from me by car. But just recently, I found an Asian grocery store just 30 minutes away from me, and it had everything I was looking for. It had all the ingredients for green curry I was looking for. So that's why we're making green curry today. They even had kaffir limes, and I've only ever gotten a kaffir lime once in Vienna, but this store just had a bunch of them. They even sold fresh durian, but it was quite expensive, so I didn't want to buy it. But maybe at some point I will, because it's something I do really want to try out at some point. Looks like most of the lemongrass is now cut into tiny little ribbons, into tiny little circles, so we can move on to some of these Asian shallots, to some of these very, very frustrating shallots, because they're super tiny, and I have a whole bunch of them that I need to peel. I need to peel all of these shallots because we don't want any shallot peel to end up in the curry. Although, since it's all getting ground up anyways, it wouldn't matter as much in this recipe as in many others, I suppose. These shallots are very frustrating to peel. They're kind of like tiny garlic cloves that are harder to peel than actual garlic cloves, which makes them indeed quite frustrating to handle. But that's just something that you have to deal with if you want a good green curry. Don't replace your shallots with onions in your green curry. They make up a big portion of the curry paste. I guess you wouldn't have to use tiny shallots like these. You could also use like the banana shallots that are a bit easier to handle. But if you can get these tiny ones, they are the best, preferably. I'm now slicing the tiny shallots into some more manageable sizes as well. Although these shallots it's not like the lemongrass that is super fibrous and doesn't want to come apart. The shallots actually break apart quite easily. Nonetheless, we're going to give them a slice. We're going to give these shallots a slice, as if they weren't frustrating enough already. Although, the slicing, I don't mind one bit. It's just the peeling that gets me. It's just the peeling, which really makes me excited for the next part, which is peeling some more garlic. So, we're gonna peel some garlic, although in comparison to these tiny shallots, the garlic was a breeze. Peeling the garlic was a breeze compared to peeling the shallot. We're going to peel this garlic and slice that up into tinier pieces as well. I'm making this green curry for some friends and I. Two of my friends were came over, and we continued to work on the wasabi project in my backyard. And then, kind of spontaneously, my boss and his fiance also decided to join us with their little kid. So, we had quite the group in the end. We were 5 people plus a baby in the end, although the baby did not eat any of the green curry. He did not eat any of the green curry. Next up, I am slicing the roots off of some coriander. I'm slicing the roots off of coriander, and we're going to be adding the coriander root into the curry paste as well. Into the curry paste, because the cilantro, the coriander, adds a lot of moisture, which the root does not. Although the taste of the root, while being a bit more earthy, is quite similar to that of the leaves and the stems. I am now taking off some of the zest, some of the outermost skin of this kaffir lime, of this beautiful kaffir lime that I finally managed to get my hands on. And we're slicing that up as well, and peeling a second one, because it came in packs of 3. It came in packs of 3, and one I am keeping for something else, but I'm not sure for what yet. Next up, we have some galangal, which, like ginger or turmeric, is a root like ginger or turmeric. But galangal, in my opinion, is the best of the 3. I guess the others have more uses. Ginger is very versatile and tastes very good, and turmeric has that beautiful orange color. But I think the smell, the fragrance, and the taste of galangal really outshines both of the others. I really do like galangal, but again, it's an ingredient that's quite difficult to get a hold of in some areas. I presume I have to drive an hour to get some, although now I guess I only have to drive 30 minutes, which is a real relief. The galangal has the pinker-ish looking side to it, which is very soft, and then it has this white, yellowy colored side to it that is very hard to cut through. It is very, very tough and fibrous. So we are moving on curry and not using enough chili is that the color is not as beautifully green, because most of the green color does come from the green Thai chilies. I'm also going to be removing the seeds, which again is something I'm sure Uncle Roger would disapprove of. But then again, I'm not using like a bell pepper like Jamie Oliver would. So that's good, at least. So we're cleaning out the seeds of this green chili, of all of these green Thai chilies, and scooping up the seeds and throwing them away. And also slicing the chilies into some tinier pieces as well, because the skin of the chilies is also something that is quite hard to break apart, because it is so thin that it doesn't want to rip in the mortar and pestle. Next up, I am going to toast some coriander seed as well as some cumin seeds. I would usually also add white peppercorns to this, but today I didn't have any. I forgot to buy some. So I'm going to use pre-ground white pepper, which I really do not prefer. I'd really prefer it if I had whole white peppercorns that I could toast alongside the coriander seed and the cumin seed. We're now adding that to my big granite mortar. And we're going to use some dried kaffir lime leaves, and we're going to take the stems out. That's just something I, through experience, learned to do, because these stems are also parts of the leaf that are very hard to break down. The stems tend to stay all put together for a very long time, even when grinding with a mortar and pestle. And we're now adding that pre-ground white pepper. And starting to pound this beautiful mixture that for now is all of the dry ingredients. When grinding my curry paste, when pounding my curry paste, I usually take a piece of cloth and put it on the floor, and then just sit down and enjoy the next 30 minutes that I'm about to pound these aromatics and vegetables, because it does take around 30 to 40 minutes, I would say. But that's alright. It's worth it for the beautiful curry paste that's coming out at the end. I now added about half of the vegetables and aromatics. I don't want to incorporate it all at once, since I have the feeling it would just fly everywhere. And honestly, while this mortar and pestle is quite large, for this amount of curry paste, it was actually kind of too small. I would have preferred if I had a larger one. I once had one of those Thai or Vietnamese mortar and pestles that are made of clay, and you have a wooden pestle, but I suppose I used it so much that the bottom broke. I guess clay just isn't as strong as stone is, so the bottom broke, and now my mom uses it as a flower pot, as a flower pot, even though its original purpose was pounding some curry paste. Looks like the paste is coming together nicely. Looks like the paste is coming from all of the pounding, coming together nicely from all of the pounding that I'm giving it. So, we're also going to be adding some shrimp paste into this curry paste, but that will have to wait until the end because it's gonna get mushier at that point and won't be as easily pounded. It won't be as easily pounded, even though it is wetter at the end. You can now hear some more stone on stone beating sounds because the vegetables and aromatics are getting thinner and thinner and moving out of the way more easily when the pestle hammers down into the mortar. I am taking out this packet of shrimp paste. This is some shrimp paste, and we're adding a generous amount. We're adding a generous amount. I feel a lot of people really don't like the smell of shrimp paste, but I think it's a walk in a park compared to fish sauce. I really do think that fish sauce smells much stronger and more pungent than shrimp paste. Although the taste of both is just divine, fish sauce as well as shrimp paste just really, really do taste delicious. They really do taste delicious. Now, looks like our curry paste is finished, and we're moving on to the afternoon. I just got done making some walls for our wasabi terraces in the backyard. My friends are still out there finishing up, and I am preparing these Thai eggplants and some chicken thighs as well as some chicken wings. Sadly, in today's video, once I start the actual cooking process, a friend of mine and her baby are already in the kitchen with me at that point, so I have quite little footage, and also I had to mute some of it because the baby was screaming a lot. But that's fine. You'll still have my whispering to listen to. It just won't be backed up by the sounds of the cooking. First off, I am toasting this beautiful curry paste in some clarified butter and then adding some water as well as some coconut milk to it. Some coconut milk that I'm going to dissolve into this beautiful green curry. And we're now adding the chicken wings as well as the chicken thighs, some palm sugar, some fish sauce, some kaffir limes, and then as one of the last steps, we're going to be adding the eggplants as well as some Thai basil to the dish. We're going to want to wait until the fat from the coconut milk really separates and you have a layer of beautiful green fat on top of this green curry. There you see the fat. Sadly, and I'm very, very sorry for this, I don't have any pictures of the finished product today. So I guess we'll have to make a green curry again someday. I hope you enjoyed this video nonetheless. The curry was very delicious. was quite spicy, but just to the point where it was delicious and not too much. And all of us enjoyed it very much, just like I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider dropping a like or subscribing, and let me know what you'd like to see next.